And through organizing with our Pico, California network and allies across the state, we have secured SB 1421, a law that requires all law enforcement agencies throughout California to allow public access to records concerning police misconduct. And these community dialogues have been our pathway into partnership with public officials, local organizations, and ordinary, powerful people just like you all. Following each dialogue, our team has grown, and more people are offering their prayers, their calls, their responses. That's going to be there. You want to kill me and I'll just use this? That's excellent. You got to know your weaknesses, right? Through our work, often more team members have joined us, offering their prayers, calls, and emails, signatures, and acts of civil disobedience to make the extraordinary happen. From this gathering, we hope that you will be informed about the purpose and importance of SB 1421, a law that ensures police transparency for building trust with the community and achieving safety and justice for all community members and police officers alike. This is our opportunity to set an example for the rest of this state as to what true democracy can look like. This can be our opportunity to band together across difference, across this county, inspiring ourselves and our cities and showing how powerful we can truly be when we come to the table together with a spirit of belonging rather than a spirit of other. We will continue building these true partnerships of honesty and accountability with our local elected officials and law enforcement leaders and the community. We'll be working with all of you to make this happen. Next, Yemi and Sheila will share about this new law and how it is being implemented across our city.
Thank you, Derek. Good evening. I'm Yemi Gurma, a member of Campbell Seventh-day Adventist Church. Today, I am the voice of SB 1421. Can you say it with me? SB 1421. SB 1421. Thank you. As the voice of SB 1421, here's what you should know about me. For the past 4 decades, California has barred public access to police misconduct and use of force. In other words, California has been known as the most secretive state in the country. SB 1421 restores California's right to know how departments investigate and hold officers accountable for use of force, planting evidence, or sexually assaulting civilians. So by means of citizen-initiated requests, SB 1421 provides access to records relating to police misconduct.
Good evening. I'm Sheila Dawkins, a partner at New Beginnings Community Church in Redwood City. Today, I am the voice of concern on the SB 1421 debate. SB 1421 unlocks the vaults on the police officers' records, giving new access to the public and the press. The records of police actions are specific to the powers of police officers and their potential for abuse. The 3 overarching areas are the use of deadly force, when officers shoot, kill, or engage in serious misconduct, sexual assault tied to the abuse of power against victims, perjury or the fabrication of evidence tied to officers' power in investigation and prosecuting crimes. As a voice of concern, I've heard law enforcement say they feel under attack. They fear the new access to their personal information may lead to bad actors or criminals who retaliate against officers. They also fear the wild, unending record requests for video and paper files. Trust the police. They want to build trust and do not need added stress of oversight and new investigations. Our local police just wants to do their job and go home. Who is going to care about their potential threats to their officers and to their safety?
Through PACTS and Pico, California, and the advocacy of impacted families, which included calling and emailing representatives, the governor, and lobby days at the Capitol, SB 1421, became the law in California on January 1, 2019. SB 1491 changed existing law by allowing members of the public to request and receive records relating to serious police misconduct, officer-involved shootings, and other serious use of force. Access to records include all investigative reports, audio, video, and photographic evidence. Locally, Sunnyvale PD, Mountain View PD, Morgan Hill PD, Campbell and Santa Clara PD, as well as the California Highway Patrol, have moved to share all relatable records with the public and the media, at least for the past 5 years. Can we give them a hand? Woo-hoo!
The Voice of Concern has heard of local public departments complying with SB 1421, and officers often say, no one hates a bad cop more than a good cop. The police look to build bridges with the community. The police want to build trust and expect everyone to obey the laws, including the rank and file officers. The new law, SB 1421, can be a big burden for officers. The police say they can police themselves. They can extract bad seeds from police departments and trust them to clean house. Here in our community, we are not like Los Angeles or Oakland. Now with the new law, police officers will face new investigations that include personal data and information about officers with redacted information before delivery of records. Sustained findings are required before records are released related to use of force on incidents of death or great bodily injury, sexual assault or dishonesty in reporting, investigation or prosecution or misconduct by another officer. The stress of this new law can make it harder for hundreds of hardworking Santa Clara County police officers to do their job. To defend the rights of officers, police unions have filed lawsuits to keep certain records private in Walnut Creek, Antioch, Martinez, and Richmond police departments. The Voice of Concern sees the law enforcement's efforts as a tactic to ensure constitutional rights for all are protected and not attacked by random record witch hunts.
SB 1421 is important. Concealing officer violations of civilian rights or inquiries into deadly use of force undercuts the public's trust in the legitimacy of law enforcement. Police unions across the state have filed lawsuits to block access to records and have stipulated that the law is not retroactive. However, Contra Costa County Superior Court Judge Charles Street became the first to rule that SB 1421 includes retroactive records. Furthermore, Superior Court Judge Mitchell L. Beckloff stated, and I quote, "The ambiguous language in the statute demonstrates the operation of SB 1421 has nothing to do with the date on which personnel record was created. It applies to all records." And his decision was upheld by the California Supreme Court. In fact, 5 Superior Court judges have rejected and dismissed police union arguments that the law is not retroactive. So as the voice of SB 1421, I affirm that the police cannot police themselves. According to the records released by public agency that set standards for officers in California, thousands of California law enforcement officers have been convicted for crime in the past decade. These crimes include trafficking drugs, stealing money from their departments, bank robbery, sexually assaulting suspects, as well as taking bribes, filing false reports, committing perjury, driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol, and sometimes even killing people on the road. So I say again that the public has a strong and compelling interest in law enforcement's transparency because it is essential to having a just and democratic society for all. And for the families impacted by officer-related shootings, SB 1421 means that they can finally get some answers.
Thank you to Yemi and Sheila for all of the research that they did, trying to hear many different perspectives in order to give that report and that learning for us tonight.